Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about some reasons silver could or should outperform gold in 2019. Also talking about the gold to silver ratio charts, what this could mean for gold and silver in the near future. Also talking about, some silver shortages, how the US sold out of American Eagles, what this means for physical bullion markets, and also talking about the difference between ETFs and physical bullion dealers, option markets, futures contracts, etc., and just go over the whole dang thing. So anyways, I found an article with the ETF Daily News. This was posted earlier this month, March 7th, 2019. I also will post all these links in the description if you want to check them out for yourself. But actually we'll do this before we start to get into this news to discuss these topics that I brought to you guys. I want to talk about the amazing amount of support I've got on this channel. So, in regards to that, we're going to do a 15,000 subscriber giveaway for this channel. You guys know I used to do every 1,000 subscribers, I would do a huge giveaway on my channel, giving away hundreds of dollars of silver. Every single 1,000 subscribers, it would be called the Slayer 3K, Slayer 4K, Slayer 5K. I think we got to the Slayer 6K before it just got too out of hand. So I think we're gonna do like every 5,000 subscribers now. Like when I hit 15, then when I hit 20, then maybe in 25, 30, we're gonna do huge giveaways. This next one will or should be sponsored by one of my favorite mints. I'm not going to announce them yet because we still have to kind of figure out how we're going to do this, but just know that we are going to be doing a 15,000 subscriber giveaway. I'll be giving away silver of my own, and they will as well. One of their new releases that are actually going to be coming out, so you'll be one of the first people to get your hands on this new silver coin. Super cool. I'm super excited to be able to give back to you guys and just, share the love and all the support you guys have given me. I love giving it back. So anyways, we can get into this. This is an article. Like I said, this will be in the description of the video. But one of the main things they talk about in this article is the potential and some of the main reasons, the main factors that could play into the performance of silver or outperforming gold. So silver should rise during the latter part of 2019, outperform gold with the gold to silver ratio falling to the low 70s, says the consultancy Metal Focus. Now, I always mention this, the gold to silver ratio is a key factor to look at, not only future, because this market is not as speculative as cryptocurrency. There are more environmental, actual factors that play in besides just if it's getting hyped or if it's getting pumped or not. Silver has a lot of different factors that play in, whether it's miner fees, digging it out the ground, how much is being recycled, what the spot price is, how many people are buying the coins, supply versus demand, not only the physical markets, but also the paper markets, the stocks, all those contracts, with the action, because a lot of people don't just, for us, it's easy to look at markets as black and white as the physical markets because we just buy our coins, get them in the mail. But there are a lot of people that own silver that don't actually physically own it. They buy contracts or they buy shares in a bank or in a vault or something as well. So there's a lot of different factors that play in, ETFs, etc. So this article kind of looks at the difference in looking at what factors could go into place and why silver should or could outperform gold. So before we get into this, I also want to say there is no biased opinions on this. If this was an article talking about why gold would outperform silver, I would still be making the same video. This is just looking at the realistic factors that come into these assets. We are silver stackers. We love silver, but I love all precious metals. If you're going to invest in silver, you might as well diversify into gold as well. There is no competition or no enemy, or not picking any sides of the gold stackers versus silver stackers. All precious metals are key. They are all important to invest in, and they all have their benefits. Gold is very beneficial to stack large amounts of wealth into a small portion. You can stack a lot more money, a lot more wealth into a shoebox, or a safe compared to silver. Silver, if you have thousands of ounces, that can take up a lot of space, where gold, you can, hold thousands of ounces or thousands of dollars worth of gold in your hand in a single palm. Silver, you can't do that. So there are different benefits, and we'll go over that a little bit more, but I'm just saying that I'm not trying to just say like, haha, silver is going to outperform gold, and people that buy gold are stupid. That's not the case at all. All precious metals are preserving your wealth into something with intrinsic value, which is, a smart purchase or a smart investment. They all have potential, and this is just talking about, kind of something under the same sun where it does interest me because they do correlate together in my opinion, but there are factors that come into play like the gold to silver ratio, etc., that we're going to talk about, and I'd also love to get your opinion. But anyways, the precious metal rose sharply in the early part of 2019, climbing to a high of $16.22 an ounce on February 20th, its highest level since June. Since then, however, gold has come under pressure, pulling down silver with it. And that's how I was talking about. They kind of slide together. They do correlate together. And they're talking about silver spot was trading at $15 an ounce, down 6 cents for the day prior to the recent pullback. Improved sentiment towards silver was reflected in COMEX positioning, Metal Focus said in a report released late Tuesday. Money managers had swung to a net long or bullish position after being net short or bearish for much of 2018. Silver holdings by exchange traded products were described as stagnant since early 2019, but nevertheless remain only 9% below the peak consultancy. A positive picture is also revealed when it comes to retail investment in the U.S., the world's biggest market for silver bars and coins. After 3 years of heavy loss, sales of U.S. silver eager bullion coins for January through February jumped by 48%. And from a low base, Metal Focus said, and this was interesting because we did see a silver shortage, or a shortage for American Eagles. I'll pull this up right here, where earlier this year, February, they sold out of American Eagles, which I actually made a video yesterday talking about silver shortages, but that was really interesting to see. I made a really interesting video with an article that JM Bullion talked about, where they came from a dealer standpoint with silver shortages, how it could affect the markets and spot price, etc. But this is something that they did come into play with, where they're talking about the losses or the amount of demand with the supply. If the supply cannot fit the demand, what that can do. And they're saying still investors are not moving into silver heavily yet, particularly because they do not anticipate a secular downturn in the stock market. Metals Focus said further worries about an economic slowdown in emerging market economies such as China are also hindrance to the silver investment. We all know China and other huge countries like that do play a huge part in the market prices. But they go on to say, nevertheless, despite some short-term headwinds, analysts said they anticipate that late 2019 will be a turning point for silver investment and hence prices. Renewed interest from professional investors will be the main driver of this rally. So here's where we're talking about some of the reasons. This is, these are the main factors. This will extend beyond 2019, and increasingly dovish U.S. interest rate policy, together with the eventual start rate increases in Europe, will deliver a weaker dollar. In addition, a slowdown in the U.S. economy will feed through into a weaker performance by equities, which is likely to encourage some rotation in favor of precious metals. Now, this is the same reason I got into precious metals. You guys know the dollar has lost 90% of its purchasing power. We're 20-30 trillion dollars in debt due to hyperinflation pumping out dollars, where when we lost the gold standard, this is all promised, so we're pumping out dollars faster than we actually can back those dollars with something that has actual value. So we're basically just we're giving people promises. It's a faith or a trust that we actually have that much or own that much of whatever the value is, but there is no value backed by the dollar anymore, since it's not backed by precious metals anymore due to the gold standard getting cut off. So the US is becoming almost like this bubble of over pumped, over impregnated currency that's flowing, that isn't backed and can't even hold its backing. So the dollar's weakening. The dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power, and people want to preserve their wealth. So in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, a $20 bill will not be able to purchase the same thing that $20 could buy nowadays. So people will put that $20 into an ounce of silver, because the ounce of silver will always have 1 ounce of silver in it, which will always be valuable. So people are basically preserving their wealth into assets or into investments that have intrinsic value. So this is what they're talking about. People will start to favor precious metals. They're talking about the metal focus said it's also for the structural supply demand surplus to narrow, thereby support prices. Gains in both investment and industrial demand should offset further growth in the mine supply. So this is where they're talking about not only the investment in coins, jewelry, stuff like that, but also the industrial demand, where silver is so beneficial in the technological world, in dental, dental equipment, medicine. I made tons of videos on silver and gold, talking about the many uses of silver, the many uses of gold, all the different things that gold and silver is used for in the technological world, whether it's space equipment, dental alloys, colloidal silver for used in medicine, cell phones. There's tons of different things, especially since silver is the most highly conductive metal for electricity and thermal conductivity. So it's definitely the cheapest, most effective metal to use. So we still need it, especially in the new age technological world we're going in. So the industrial demand is still there as well. Going forwards, given silver's far smaller market size relative to gold, we expect to see silver gradually outperform the yellow metal, resulting in the fall of gold to silver ratio in the low 70s in late 2019. So here's where we're talking about gold to silver ratio. It comes out of the ground roughly 9-1, but right now it's around 85-1, which means it takes 85 ounces of silver to purchase 1 ounce of gold. And they're saying that gold to silver ratio will go down to the low 70s, meaning that silver and gold, that means either gold's price will lower or silver's price will rise, making it more equal, which means it would only be around 70 ounces of silver to amount to 1 ounce of gold. So they're saying they expect to see the low 70s late 2019. We don't know which way it's going to go. Silver might rise a little bit, gold might go down a little bit. But regardless, the gold to silver ratio will even out a little bit more. It is completely out of whack right now, especially looking at how beneficial, how much potential there is for silver, whether it's through the industrial demand or the investment supply, or coming out the ground only 9-1, but the ratio is over 85-1, etc. So this was a really interesting article when you're looking at that, and I definitely think that the ratio should be more like 20-30-1 in my opinion. It was around 40-1 at one point, but it does keep getting higher. It's been stuck at 85 for about a year or so. So anyways, I'm curious what you guys think about this article. Do you think silver will outperform gold? Do you have any reasons besides this article, besides the points they made? The main factor they said was the renewed interest of professional investors will be the main driver of this rally, which may will extend beyond 2019. Talking about the weakening of the U.S. dollar, people wanted to preserve their money into something with intrinsic value. So that is definitely my main factor. That's what got me into precious metals myself. So I definitely think, thinking alike, the rest of the people that do understand this. A lot of people don't even understand what that means, what hyperinflation is. So that's another factor. Some people buy it just because they like coins. Maybe they like constitutional silver. Some people just want to find something to invest into, and they want to own it, with physical. That's the good thing about physical precious metals, is you physically own it. It's not like you just have a certificate or an email saying that your silver is safe in some vault that's across the country that you can't ever touch if there was a situation or anything, or an emergency. You actually get to physically hold it and own it and sell it at your will. And that's what a lot of people like, compared to cryptocurrency or stocks or options markets, whatever, ETFs, whatever the case is. So anyways, I do think this was a really interesting article. All these articles will be in the description of the video if you want to check them out. Also, make sure to subscribe and like if you did enjoy this content. If you do want to participate in the 15,000 subscriber giveaway, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned in for that. So anyways, this was Silver Slayer. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Stay tuned for more content like this. I will see you guys soon. Peace.